Hey everyone, it is Stephanie Lodge, the Hug Angel. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm actually streaming on multiple spaces. So thank you, Spiritual Empath, for having me. Obviously, my own channels as well. Anybody here opening into the chat stream, just know I will do my best to monitor as we're going. This is my good friend, Lisbeth Vasquez. Lisbeth, welcome.
Hi. So good to
And
see you.
I wanted to bring her in and just share a little bit about what we're doing this weekend here in Los Angeles. So, for those of you in LA, definitely know that this is going to continue in an in person event that we're doing here in LA, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But for those of you who are joining us live streaming right now with us, thank you for being here. Welcome to the Hug Den, as we're calling it in this moment, virtually at least. And it's something we're launching this weekend. I'd love to see it expand, but we're going to start in Beverly Hills and Los Angeles and really bring people together for what I call healing the universal grief. I think there's a lot of that going on right now. I think a lot of people are seeing the state of the world, just elements that we feel kind of out of our control, things of energetic proportions that just don't feel comfortable to watch and witness. And it's a little much, let's just be honest. For those of you who've been doing the astrology dance in the last month, between the solar eclipse, the lunar eclipses, all the conjunctions of Jupiter and Mars, all the things, the Mercury retrograde, Scorpio full moon a couple of days ago, or was it yesterday? I don't even remember it so much. It's a lot. That's it. And I feel that right now we need to come together in community as much as we can, connect heart to heart. That's what I'm all about. Hugging is a really great way to do that. But I wanted to introduce Lisbeth because she's going to be joining me here in LA. We're bringing this Hug Den into personal connection, right? So not everything's virtual anymore. A lot of people are really wanting to connect and create community in person. So if you're in LA area, we wanted to make sure you knew about this event because it's going to be a special one in my opinion. It's a little like a medicine journey without the medicine. We take you, well, let me just say this. I want to share a little bit, Elizabeth, your background, what you bring in. You have a lot that you've studied, and that's kind of how you and I connect, is kind of the science spirit side, right? But share a little bit about your background so they get to know you for a minute, and then we'll kind of bring it back to Hugden again. If you don't.
Yeah, thank you. Stephanie, thank you so much for having me and everybody that is here and will watch later. My name is Lisbeth, and I am a medical yoga therapist and a sound therapist as well. And I feel just so fortunate to have met Stephanie and be able to be of support in this capacity. And my background is in yogic philosophy and yogic science. However, I have two master's degree, one in science and one in the arts of the South Asian and Southeastern Eastern practices of yoga and its philosophy. And within that, I've studied somatics in my academic studies. I've done um, medical studies, how to apply the integrative practices of yoga and its healing sciences in the medical sector. I've taught academics, I've taught at risk groups, I've taught um, different age groups, and the practices here become applicable to anybody. So we will be working with this organic somatic integration between yoga and uh, exploratory movement. So there will be gentle stretching, yes, but also an opportunity to just take up some space and move in a way that feels intuitive and right for one's body. I will also be leading the sound, and I have a conglomeration of different instruments like a gong, the crystal singing bowls, a chime, and an ocean drum. And that will support our beautiful journey that Stephanie is going to lead. I've lived in Mexico. I'm from Mexico originally, so a lot of my background also comes from my indigenous background. I'm originally from Cancun, Mexico. So I have some of that indigenous upbringing that really feels and sounds true to the way that I work with people and the way that I practice. And it's wonderful to be here and just share from a very heart warm place. I've done a lot of self practice and have studied with not just academic people, but also spiritual people in India, in Mexico, and here. And so I look forward to just being of support and sharing these practices.
I love it. I love that. And yeah, how Elizabeth and I met was in one of her sound bathing classes. And I just was like, when I first went in, I could feel there was a different energy in the room. And for those of you who don't know who I am, let me just share a little bit because I know some of you might be tuning in through Spiritual Empath for the first time, finding me here. And I have come into this sacred space to support the space, to bring tools, to bring energy, to bring love to those who are on that more empathic journey, right? Someone who feels more the energy. I call you spiritually aware, right? I kind of think of when we think of spiritually sensitive, it kind of brings us into, on a subconscious level, almost like a vulnerability. And I like to empower everyone to know that this is a superpower to have this empathic nature and to just be more aware of what is around you in the frequency field, right? So a lot of my work has to do with what I call the halo. Your halo is your holographic assembled light organization. And this to me is a quantum mechanism that we all have the potential to work with, right, consciously and have it work for us. And it kind of encapsulates what you would think of as your energetic body, your biophotonic elements, your etheric, your astral, all of it. It's pretty much the entirety of you that exists within the solar system, the soul as SOUL. And what I know is that when we are really fully in that space, we know that the space of us, our soul is this space and our body is within that soul. And we operate from that mechanism, we can have a different level of experience of life. So what I do as a channel also and a mystic, I work with a lot of bandwidth of consciousness and frequency of what you might call God's source. And it is love, it is vibration, it's the communicative streams that are informing all life, right? It's the life streams, the light streams, the sound streams, all of it. And you might call communication systems. And so these divine sacred elements are something that I've worked to attune to and align to on many different levels. I channel them and translate them into English. I channel and translate them into sound tonals. I also work at the numerical level with them. So there's a lot of different layers, right? And in this practice that Elizabeth and I are going to be doing together, I'm in it with you in a sense that I am operating on full faith as a frequency. I don't even know until we're in it what that field is saying in this moment right now, based on everybody in this room. This is the medicine, if you will, for the soul that is here, the collective. So I design it, meaning I, as in the entirety of what I work with, design it accordingly to who's in the room. So I can sit here and tell you, oh, we're going to do this, this, and this, and this, and be very specific about the journey. I can't tell you that because it's going to change based on who's in the room. It's going to change because each of us is networked, right? And when I came into Elizabeth's experience with her sound element, her sacred sounds, her network and my network made a handshake, right? Her consciousness and my consciousness connected. And then I went up to her afterwards and I said, I don't know if you know this, but you have a very strong connection to the Magdalene Council, the Magdalene Council. And so we dropped in on that a little bit, right, Elizabeth? And you're like, oh, I didn't know. And we were like talking about it. But even still, like every time I've come back to her class, there's always more beauty that kind of wants to come through and weave between our hearts, right? Until finally she said, do you want to collaborate on something? I said, yeah, let's do that. So that's what the Hug Den has become. It's going to be this collaboration between the two of us, bringing her beauty in and my beauty in, right, at the energetic levels, and see what we create together. And then everyone in the room will be part of that as well. So I wanted to make sure everyone knew that this was happening if you live in the LA area, because I know the opportunities to be somewhere, right? And I just feel that this is going to be the premiere of this. It's a really special time to have people come out and be part of this. Right now, especially after this past month, there's been a lot of static, right? There's been a lot of frequency in the field, and people are just processing a lot and alchemizing a lot. So this room that we call the Hug Den is a way to kind of let it all go and come into the sanctuary of your heart, to come into a place where you are held and you are supported. And my feeling is whatever grief, whatever elements of scarcity, whatever elements of just disheartened, consciousness of just witnessing things in your own life or world, global things, whatever, any of it, it's an opportunity to just let it out of the system and be recharged, renewed, and walk out of the door feeling like you've literally shifted into something else, right? That's the goal, at least. And that's something that I've been doing for many years through my practices with people privately without the sound element. And so that's why I'm really excited to bring in the stretching and what, Lisbeth is going to be bringing into the body mechanisms. And then the sound also going into the cellular is going to be really powerful. Elizabeth, do you want to share a little bit about what you know about why sound is so important when we're working with these types of light frequencies and alchemy?
Of course, yeah. And I was going to mention the beauty of our work. It's so integrated. And that's why I also resonated so much with what you're doing, because it's so similar to what I've studied in a different context, yes. But I think for me at least, it reminded me that we are, yes, so intricately connected, and it is so important to get together and do the work together. That yes, we can be doing our own personal work through rituals, ceremony, prayer, breathing, movement, whatever that may be for you, that it needs to be multi-layered. You can't just do only one to feel and be cleared, to feel better or be clear of whatever you're intaking or clogging up. That it is a multi-layered approach to cleansing, clearing, aligning, right? And I feel that in the clearing and cleansing process, right, when we work together through mind body vibrational, right, at a cellular level, we can continue to feel safe, supported, like we're not doing this alone. Everything will be okay as long as that we're doing the work. But it's not just us doing it by ourselves, that there's got to be other individuals who are doing perhaps a little bit more work than us, that are really doing a lot of spiritual practice and are working hard to just burn those, those bad karmas or those samskaras, right, that keep adding to our bank. But within the context of the sound therapy and the harmony that happens when we are experiencing sound, the vibratory frequency that gets emitted, right? We are water beings, and it takes us into this water source, like it connects us to our water element, so that at a cellular level we can cleanse, we can change the information, right? Like transform the information of that cell, right? Or the gunk that is inside of us that is just like stuck. That yes, exercise can help, right? Breathing is a great practice, and we'll be doing a little bit of breathing, some clearing, some centering breaths. But in the autonomic nervous system, we also need to be working within that spectrum, right? We cannot just do it through exercise or through walking or through prayer, right? There's got to be this, okay, how can I center myself? How can I feel safe so that the nervous system gets regulated, that we tap into our parasympathetic system, right? And we create a safe space within us to let things go and be recharged, right? Cleansed, in what we called the layer of life force, or the layer of bliss, right? In the wisdom layer, because we're built in layers. We're not just this physical organic sheath, right? We have our energetical sheath, we have our mind shield, we have our wisdom layer, but we also have this very deep layer that gets forgotten, especially around this time or during these moments where it's like we're made out of bliss. And how can we remember that? And perhaps it's not bliss, but it's joy, it's contentment, it's peace, it's being hopeful
Mm-hmm.
that things are going to be okay
Yeah.
as long as I'm doing this work for myself. Um,
Yeah.
so I hope that that gives a little bit of an explanation.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I agree. I look at everything from whenever we go into these types of experiences, right? And I want to give everyone a little bit of an experience here today. Just because for tuning in, I just want to say that I will go into a little bit of an experience today, and just briefly, just for everyone to kind of get a taste of it. But the thing of it is that when we go into this alignment, I call it harmonic alignment, light optimization. Again, halo, right? There's a lot of this halo element. But what's interesting about it is when I was introduced to working as a light stream, is what they call it, there was always this element of the sound stream too. And the sound coming through our heart, our organic streaming that wants to tone through us. And this type of sound, so powerful because it gives that soul element, that bliss element, as you're talking about, the joyful, like creative element, the creative spark of that inner child, that opportunity to express itself without getting into the mental thinking too much, but really just in the expression of what we are here as, right? Because I think we identify, and this is a very ego element, but we identify with I'm this, I'm a mom, I'm a teacher, or whatever it is, right? The identifications people have. But really, when you strip away all of that, right? You strip away all of the identification aspects and you just go truthfully into the tone of you, right? The feeling state of you. Inside all of that, underneath all the other stuff that we pack on top of it, is that joy, is that seed of joy, that first spark of why we got created in the first place as a soul, right? And so I really feel the sound reminds us of where we come from, because the sound is a vibration of the universe, the music of the spheres, right? We come from this space that is so grand, and that light and that sound vibration is really what we are born of, right?
Yeah.
And I feel that when we come together, you and I, it's going to be really powerful because that light element, right, will come through from the frequency that I'm going to be pulling into the space, and the sound streams that you're going to be running, when they combine, I'm so excited to see what that does. And then, of course, your network, my network, and everything else, everybody else in the room's network, I feel like it's almost like a divine appointment, to bring this energy into Los Angeles right now, especially because there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of things being revealed about the Hollywood system, the music industry, people up in arms about stuff, TikTok and all the things, right? And I just feel that we have to remember, no matter what is in the illusionary experiences of all the narratives, all the stories, everything we're watching, witnessing, and experiencing, we are still first and foremost immortal, eternal beings that are here to have an experience of life and life force. And recently I was walking through a forest, and there was such beauty in that forest that I started weeping. And I started communing, with Mother, I call it Universal Mother. And it just brought me into such a space of gratitude for life, and also a space of please forgive us, because we don't appreciate that enough. And I feel that when we come together in these type of community experiences where we get to hug and we get to connect, for those of you who like to hug, we'll be hugging. But it's an opportunity for us to really let go of all that chatter, the static, I call it, and really tap in to the true nature of us, which is pure beauty, honestly. Every one of you, every
And-
one of you watching is a beautiful soul, bottom line. And
right.
yeah, did you want to add to that?
Yeah, I was going to say, well, that is what we see in science as being the disease of the human experience, right? People identified with their sickness, with their illnesses, with their characteristics, right? And in the process, like Buddhism or, you know, South Asian philosophies, like the misidentification of your true essence is what causes, right, the confusion and the delusion of of living, right, of connecting to source. And you know, science reminds us too that it's in the process when we are in meditation, right, we get to enter a liminal space, and it's that transitory space when you're not fully asleep, not fully awake, but in that in between space there is your potential, right, your potential to nourish, your potential to reset, and the potential to tap into the creativity that we see being lost, right? We're not attuning to our own sense of our essence, our
Mm.
beauty, right? And being appreciative that we're so lucky to be in this human form, right? We're looking for so much external, right? External stimulus or what have you, right? To fill up the space. And what we
Mm.
want to do is find more space to be from within us, right? To be okay with the silence, to be okay with just the simplicity of breathing without having to do the next thing
Yeah.
or target the list or, you know, have to go on the next thing.
Yeah.
And I think opportunities like these, you know, like what we're doing, is a reminder to people on how we have always lived and we have just forgotten.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It's, when I look right now, because I look very much at the collect that angeling, or I look at the bird's eye view of the whole system, and I work on systems a lot. I do a lot of grid work, and what I'm seeing right now is really a complete dissolution of a lot of the old patriarchal masculine control systems that were installed on the planet many moons ago, right? And the rising of the feminine factor, which is really being seen in many different ways, right? And being women being witnessed differently and respected differently, and that needs to come into fruition in a way and shift in a way like never before for this planet to really come into harmony again, because it's been out of harmony for so long. And the system itself, though, we're all plugged into it. So we all have our part in doing that. And the more that we get siphoned into energetics that are dragging our energy down, our voltage drops, right? So think of like your cell phone, and you go to plug it in and you keep charging and you keep charging. And that's kind of like going to a healer that's like, yeah, I'll run Reiki on you or I'll run this on you. And we keep charging the battery, and they might, hold that for a little bit. But eventually the lithium in the phone, right, gives out. And that's our internal voltage, right? That's something we have to self master and keep, increasing our frequency and increasing our voltage on our own ascension, if you will. That's really, to me, what I feel ascension's about, is getting our voltage up, because the cellular voltage, right? The physical version, but also the spiritual version. So it's a really interesting time to be alive, because we're being challenged like never before as humans to hold that frequency, hold that light, as some people will call it, regardless of what is going on around us and what that creates, or what is required to do that. I believe is stillness, like you said, meditation, absolutely, getting into the quietude of the breath, right? Doing breath work, and even somatic release, things like that are really helpful, because more than ever before we are inputting way too much between our phones and our all our screens and all the things and people and their drama. For me, I believe the system, when I tune into the whole system, there is a deep grief about it, because that grief is I call it the universal grief, because there's an element there that just says, I know this isn't how this is supposed to be. And I'm sad that I haven't figured out how to fix this. Or there's a sense of feeling about, there's a lot of energetics of how did we contribute to this somewhere along the line, maybe not even in this life, if you believe in past lives, which I think hopefully most of us do by now. But that we're networked in such ways, and we're finding out whether it's, ancestral lineage, whether it's light lineage, I call it cosmic lineage. There's so much in our systems, and we are the ones that have been these masters that have come in this time to resolve it once and for all, to love ourselves completely no matter what, to forgive ourselves completely no matter what, whatever trespasses we've done to others, and to forgive others for them not being perfect. And there's so much, right? But I feel, to get back to the hug den's an opportunity to just be in that space of, there is love here. You are supported here. You are seen here. You are known here. You are witnessed, and you are held. And no matter where you are, it's okay. Where you are in that process, it's okay. But it's important also for us, I believe, to really realize it's an inside job, and nobody's a victim, because if you've been victimized in this life, let me promise you, you've victimized others in other lifetimes or other systems. So it's like, it's always in harmony, right? So we get to say, okay, whatever the story is, whatever's caused me the grief, the upset, I'm going to let that go right now. I'm going to reset, I'm going to restore, and I'm going to reveal the truth of who I want to be going forward. And that's the time we're in right now, in my opinion. This whole solar eclipse was really interesting. There was a lot of energy around that. What I got is we were getting an up-leveling in the light. How much light's coming in. We have a lot of solar flares coming in. I think there's like a quadruple X something that just hit the planet. I think it's hitting the planet on the 26th. So it just came out of the sun a couple of days ago, maybe yesterday. Point is, this light is not going to decrease. I can tell you that. The light's increasing. And that means we have to increase from the internal, that lithium element, right? That element within ourselves that can hold the charge. And my job, I can say, is to bring that light in incrementally so people can harmonize to that light, so they're not overwhelmed. And I would say, Lisbeth, there's so much that you offer too, through yogic methods and so forth, your platform, right, as well. And I feel that there's a nice harmony here, between the two of us. But what I want to say is, I want to offer, first of all, your website, so I can give everybody, just for them to connect with you, is yogicmethods.com, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yogic.
And then,
Thank you.
Yeah, so that they can find that. And then I'm going to put up my website as well. So if you guys just want to reach me, you have a way to reach me directly. And that's angelicacademy.com. And that's just, if you're curious about what the two of us do separately in our own, way of being, right? But for this broadcast, the reason we came together is, I want to be really clear, and you can RSVP if you're in the LA area, is the hug den. And the hug den is something that it would be kind of cool to kind of figure out how to make these kind of sprout out around the world, but right now we're starting in Beverly Hills. And I just feel that you can go to the hug den. I'm going to put it up here. If you want to join us, there's still some tickets left to come in and be in the space with us. And if you can't, if maybe you're not in LA, maybe you're in New York, or maybe you're, in San Francisco or somewhere else, but you have friends here, and this would be something really great for them. They can come in, they can go through this journey of the light and the meditation and the sound, and really feel transitional shift. Because I can tell you this, and I do not say this from ego, I just say this from experience for the past 20 years. When people have come into spaces where I guide them through these meditation practices and we bring them on a journey, it's not me bringing them on the journey. I am the vessel and the instrument. That element of, you would call the angelic, comes through me and guides this journey, and I'm witnessing as it's happening. And I will tell you, we literally travel to a space outside of time, like a quantum space, where people will literally witness before it comes out of my mouth. I'm describing the space. They will see it before I even say it. Like, and so it's really wild, but it's definitely a journey. It's like nothing probably most people have experienced. And I just say that because it's different in the sense that you get to experience what you're like without the physical form. You get to really feel yourself as an angelic or quantum or cosmic being. It's visceral. One of the things that many have spoken about with this type of journey is the energetic of it, right? They're like, this is different than something I've ever experienced. So I just want to say that if you are really, really highly energetically sensitive, let's go back to the sensitive thing. What I do, and I will give you guidance on how to regulate your system so it's not overwhelming, just to be clear. I do make sure everybody's feeling really like cool, everybody's going to feel really good about it. And what else can I tell you about these kind of journeys? Because they're kind of like shamanic journeys, but they're a little different. What else do they want to share? They're here right now, so I'm just asking them. All right, so they're just sharing with me that the right people will be in the room, to trust always. The right combination of beings will be there if they're meant to be there. One of them saying if they can handle the heat in the kitchen, they're kind of being funny with that, but they're not in a way, because like I said, there's frequency involved in this. This is very alchemical. The sound is there, and the body mechanics of the stretching and everything that we're going to set you up with, Elizabeth's going to do, that's going to prepare everything to be like fully resolved, meaning like what you're ready to let go of, you're going to let go of, right? And then you get restored. So that's the beauty of this. It's kind of a reveal, release, restore process. We're going to be bringing in the cetaceans. They're showing me some Lemurian aspects wanting to be worked on through some of the group that's going to be there. They are giving me a sneak peek. So the whale sounds, I think, were you able to get that thing that makes the whale sounds? Have you tried that yet, Elizabeth? Because I had mentioned Elizabeth, I'm like, there's this gong thing that you can do to make sounds of the whales. Were you able to do it?
Beautiful. It's beautiful. And it sounds just, it's powerful.
Yeah. So I'm getting confirmation. We're going to be connecting to they're saying the diamond dolphins, diamond whales. These are very high frequency cosmic elements that are going to be coming in through that. So that's beautiful. That alone is, I'm like so excited about. So I want to just say hi to Lisa Campbell and Melissa, and let's see who else. Martha, if she's still here. I don't know who's still here, but I'm just saying hi to Dana and Simon. Let's see who else is here. Mystic Mama. There's a few people. Joel for being the first one to say hi. I think Mimi might be in the room with us. So I just want to say hi to everyone who came in today with us live. I want to give you a little gift before we leave here, because my councils are here, just to kind of feel just in your heart for a moment with me and get a big, beautiful angel hug. We're going to give some angel hugs in the room, by the way, in person for those of you in LA. If you don't know what that is, well, you're going to have to come to find out. I can't tell you what that is till you come in. Anything else, guys? Okay, so let's just do this. So I'm going to go into a process where I'm going to bring in a tonal. And Elizabeth, I don't think you have anything sound related near you, but that's okay. If you did, then it would be great. But if not, that's okay.
I have a maraca.
I don't know if she's gonna. I have a little like gong, so I can bring in a little.
I have my earth drum.
Oh yeah, try that one if you have that. And put her on the spot, guys. Be patient because I put her on the spot.
From the Eagle Native American.
Oh, I love it.
From Santa Fe. Eagle Chief.
That's perfect. I brought this little gong. I'm just gonna kind of chime really quick to kind of just bring myself in.
And I'll do some drumming.
And you can bring in the drum, yeah, it's totally fine. And I'm gonna bring in Universal Mother if she wants to come forward. Oh. So what I'm going to do as we're moving in. You can keep drumming. It's fine. I'm just talking. We're going to bring in Universal Mother, and she's going to speak from the heart to your heart. She's going to provide this warm hug she's telling me, not in English. Okay, so for those of you not familiar with my work this way, this is more of my mystic shaman level, harmonic shaman level. It's my heart expressing itself. And I want to say, Martha, because she just posted that she deals with some fear and sadness. So I just want you to know you are safe, you are protected, you are always secure. Please own that and know that fully. And if you are ever feeling unprotected or insecure in any way, or anybody watching ever feels insecure, I want you to imagine a beautiful diamond spectrum of light around you right now called halo. We're just going to activate everyone's halo in this moment of now. And you can always just say halo up or shield up and just know that this halo is immediately around you. And this means that you are in your own sacred sanctuary. Anything you come in contact with is not going to cross-pollinate when halo is up. It's like you are in your own space. Nothing is allowed in without your permission. I'm setting the intention right now in this moment because we are on a live stream and many can watch this in the quantum field, meaning in timelessness, meaning in the future sometime, and it will still be activated right now, in this moment of now, that we only allow the highest frequencies and purest consciousness of living light, ultimate love, and immaculate grace to remain within our presence now and always. And when we state those parameters, we state that intention. The energies don't meet that criteria, they bounce out. That's the truth of it. Okay, and that's what I know. All right. So as we get started, we're just going to tune into our hearts. Put your hand on your heart for those of you watching. There's only love here to know. That transmission from my heart to yours. Thank you, Elizabeth. What I felt from that was just an honoring of those watching and those who will be watching, that there is no other moment but this present moment to be present with self, that you are safe, you are secure in every way, and to know that the heart is your greatest compass, your true north, and let it lead the way, let it lead you to your own liberation. Because we all have the potential to create our own liberation in any moment. We can buy into all the spectacle and the shiny objects, or we can say, thank you, but no thank you, right? So I just honor Universal Mother for bringing forward her love so that we can just feel a little bit of that today, a little teaser. And I'm sure there'll be other opportunities that I will be online doing my Diamond Halo. You can learn about that in Angelic Academy, and other opportunities to see Lisbeth and her events and work with her privately and me privately, either way, if that serves you, right? But right now, I want to just say, Lisbeth, thank you for this time, for joining me here today, beautiful sister. I'm so grateful to have met you and to have connected with you again, I like to say. And I'm so grateful that we're going to be having this opportunity Saturday. And for those of you who want to come in, please go to thehugden.com. You can read a little bit more about what we're doing and get your tickets. And is there anything you wanted to share before we close today, Lisbeth?
No, thank you so much for having.
Oh, well, I think I think she got something came up. Let's see. There she is. Something shifted. That was very funny.
That's so funny. Yes, I look forward to this, and I think it's going to be just so insightful and transformative and healing. And you're such a powerhouse, and I'm such a just lucky to be able to work with you. So
Mm. Oh, I feel the same. I love you so much. And I love all of you for joining us. Please tell your friends. Like we said, we want to get as many, there's only 25 seats available, by the way. We want to be really clear. We don't have that many, spaces available, and some of those spaces have been taken. So just know that it's kind of first come, first serve until we sell out. But please feel free to share this video if you want to tell your friends. Also, you can go to @thehugangel.com. And where can they find you? Is it Yogic Methods on Instagram?
yeah.
Okay. So either of us, and you can share, I'm going to be putting up the Hug Den, and you can share it to your stories if you want to help us get the word out that way. That's really awesome when we come together in community like this to bring the right people who need to be in that room, right? Like she and I can't know everybody, right? So there might be somebody in your network that requires this type of alchemy or is looking for something of this support right now. There's been so many people I've talked to have just they've reached their end. They're just like, I can't do it anymore. They're exhausted. And I just feel that this could be something that could shift them into a timeline, if you will, or a station of light, if you will, that will make a difference. So I really want to say that. I want to say thank you to Lisa and Dana and everybody here, Martha and everybody here. Thank you again, Lisbeth, for being with me. And we'll do this again. I love you so much. And till we meet again, everyone, I'm hugging you always and hugging you too, bud. All right. Bye for now. See you soon. And it's Saturday, by the way, 7 p.m. I should say that, to 9 p.m. It's a 2-hour hug den. Okay. Bye for now.